Hello, witches. It's Keldon. I hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm just going to be going through some of the material that I've been reading lately. I really enjoy seeing the books that other people are reading and enjoying, and kind of hearing their thoughts on them. So, I like sharing those videos too. And I love books. You should know that by now if you've been around for a while. So, over the last month or so, as I kind of take a step back from social media, I've really felt that pull to kind of go back to my roots. And that's a common feeling. I think a lot of people suggest this, including myself, when you start to feel maybe uninspired or like your craft is stagnating, whatever it is to really just go back to the beginning. And in this case, I'm going back to some of the books I read when I was just starting out. So a lot of these I read when I was about 12. Um, and and really kind of seeing how I feel about them all these years later. What still holds up, what maybe doesn't hold up so well. And reigniting that spark, I think, is really important. So, one of the books I'm reading, I'm about halfway through that. This book is called 21st Century Wicca, A Young Witch's Guide to Living the Magical Life by Jennifer Hunter. So when I first read this book, I checked it out from my local library, and it was in this really cool green, like olive green hardback. It didn't have the dust jacket, and I loved it. Um, this is the, I guess, standard paperback copy. This is put out through Citadel Press, Library of the Mystic Arts. Um, and I gotta be honest, I think that this front cover is hideous. Who is this woman? Why does she look like she's in like a soap commercial, or she's like a hand model? She's like, I just think that this is such an unattractive cover. And I know it's not about the cover, but let's be honest, it kind of is. This book was put out in 1997. So yeah, but what I really like about this book is that it's filled throughout with little snippets from contributors. So people talking about their practice as a witch through its various parts. And this is a book that's geared towards Wicca. And there's a lot of things in here that don't hold up, particularly in terms of my beliefs now, as well as I think just kind of the general world. There's a lot of really gendered stuff in here. A lot of stuff about Wicca being about fertility and the sexual union of the god and the goddess and pregnancy and like, There's a lot in here too about like Wiccans or witches being clergy, which is a concept that really like just makes my skin crawl. Clergy is a specific thing. It's a specific thing to a specific group of people, Christians. And again, I just find that this is one of those things where we're really attempting to fit ourselves into a mold that we really don't belong in. But of course that's my own opinion, so your mileage may vary. But what really stands out to me is just the voices of the contributors. There's a lot of like really cool illustrations in here that I really like. And I haven't gotten to the last chunk of the book. So the book's broken down into 3 parts. There's Maiden, Mother, Crone. But the kind of last part of the book is all about community. So they talk about like workshops and classes and college campuses and knowing your rights and things like that. And I just remember that being a part of the book that I really, really liked. And a lot of that stems from, I think, just at the time, I didn't know any other magical practitioners. And so reading this book and reading the voices of these other people, it was like they kind of became my friends. So if you are looking for a book to read and you don't mind kind of wading through a lot of dated material, like you might enjoy this book. The second one, this is a book that I actually did not read when I was younger, but I know a lot of witches who did and who really admire this book. This is Confessions of a Teenage Witch by Guinevere Rain. It looks like this. This book came out, when did this book come out? In 2005. And so Guinevere's writing as a young teenage witch, and she's really just writing about Wicca and witchcraft. There's these really cool snippets from her Book of Shadows, you know, like little journal entries. There's also contributors in here, including G'day, who I love, and I really love their contributions. That was really fun to read. So, and the thing I really like about this book is, while there's stuff in here that is, you know, maybe doesn't hold up, Guinevere really looks at things critically. Like, she looks at the Wiccan Rede and the Law of Three with a really critical eye. And I really enjoyed that, even if I still don't necessarily incorporate those concepts into my practice. It was just refreshing to see somebody kind of questioning it and looking at it differently, besides just being like, this is the law, that's it, there's all there is. So I really recommend this book. I think I recommend this book over this one. But this was definitely a really refreshing book to read. So the next books are just ones that I'm just reading in general, and they're all kind of seasonal. So the first one, I finally picked up a copy of Llewellyn's Little Book of Halloween by our dear Mickey Mueller here on YouTube. Don't be a fool like me and sleep on this book. Get yourself a copy of this immediately. I just got this the other day, and I have not been able to put it down. It is, it's so good. She really packs so much information in here. There's all these fun illustrations, but she goes through and she talks about the history of Halloween. She gives tips and tricks of like how to decorate and create a really awesome atmosphere for Halloween. There's tons of exercises and rituals and spells and things in here. Like, this is so good. And I don't actually have many books on Halloween. The only other like witchcraft Halloween book I have specifically is Silver Ravenwolf's Halloween book, which I also really like. A lot of the stuff in that book historically might not hold up, but I do really like that book too. But definitely get this book. Support a beloved author who we know from her wonderful channel, which I will link down below. But Mickey, I'm really enjoying this book. It is so good. I love it. So I cannot wait to get done with all of my projects today so I can sit down and read more. There's a lot of personal stories in here too, which I just popped into my head because I love books like that, where there's personal stories. Like, you really feel like you're having a conversation, and it really makes the book more interesting, in my opinion. So get this book. Okay, the next one. So this is a book that I loved when I was little. When I was a little witch, I used to go to the library all year round and want to check this book out. This is Scary, Scary Halloween by Eve Bunting and Jan Brett. So this is a children's picture book, and it's really beautiful. The illustrations are really cool, and it really just goes through and tells the story. I don't want to spoil the story, but I'll show you some of the pictures. And the cool thing about it is there's all these hidden faces in the background too, but they go through different, different Halloween creatures. This, of course, was my favorite page. Like, look at those witches. Are you kidding me? Look at them. They're so cool. Like, I want to know them. I want to be their friend. I also want to be them. So, I'll show you one more. I'll show you two more. I love this one too. These are goblins and gremlins. And look at them. They're having so much fun. And honestly, that, like, as much as I want to be those witches, this is probably a more accurate depiction of how I feel on the inside every day of my life. Then, this one. Look at this. Look at that devil. Like, those colors, that costume. Also, like, This double's giving me a lot of like very queer vibes. So like Halloween queer icon right here. Love it. Oh, so good. So if you are looking for a fun, whimsical book to inspire a Halloween mood or to read to your kids or to read to yourself because you're a kid at heart, check out Scary, Scary Halloween. The next one, I just picked this up. I was at Barnes & Noble, which I don't really go to Barnes & Noble very often. But I had seen this book online and then I saw it there and I was like, I'm just gonna get it. This is A World Full of Spooky Stories, 50 Tales to Make Your Spine Tingle by Angela McAllister and illustrated by Madalena Andronic. But the art is breathtaking. And so this is really an anthology of different folk tales, and they're from all over the world. You know, there's ones from Japan, England, Chile, Australia. There's different native stories, Russia. It's really good. And I would say the stories are not super spooky. I think the book gives off a much more Halloween vibe than it really is, but the stories are still fantastic. There's some of my favorite ones in here. So there's the story of Vasilisa and the Baba Yaga. Like, look at that picture. So good. There's also the tale of Herne the Hunter, which is one that I'm particularly fond of. And the book's like broken into different sections. Like this is the section titled Frozen Lands. So I'm learning all kinds of new folk tales from all over the world, which I really like. And I like that there's a lot of like non-English stories in here too, which, you know, really helps us get out of our kind of westernized white people perspective, which I like. So definitely check this book out. If you are a fan of folk tales and really awesome art, give this book a look. Yeah, this is another one that I've enjoyed, like at night, like I'll just, when I'm ready for bed, like I'll just lay in bed and read some stories and then drift off with them in my brain. Okay, the last thing I want to show you, because I know this video is getting a little bit long. This is really cool. So this is a magazine. This is This Witch magazine, which is put out by Sofia Delgado. And this is the Spirit issue, Fall 2020, Volume 2. And I'm in this magazine. I've been writing for this magazine. I wrote for their summer Fae issue. I wrote for this one, and then I will be in their upcoming Poison Path one as well. So if you are a fan of my writing, definitely check these out. She prints them in limited runs, so you can still get digital copies, but the physical copies sell out pretty fast. But they are, first of all, the quality is really awesome. Like the pages are really thick, and it's a really sturdy magazine. That's before we get into all of the amazing articles written by different witches, including Sophia. There she is. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing. But the photography, oh my God. Okay, like let me just pull up. Like there's journal prompts, there's horoscopes, there's rituals and spells and recipes. Like there's a recipe for soul cakes. Look at these. They tell you how to make little cinnamon planchettes. How cool is that? So I am working my way through reading this magazine. And yeah, like look at these photos. It's really enchanting, and this one really gets you in the kind of spirit of the season. Here's my article. I'm not gonna give away too many secrets. But like, look at that. Also, there's like, the photos are beautiful, and there's a man in here. There's a photo of a man in here, and I want to marry him. And that is all I'm gonna say about that. Because he is so beautiful. Everyone in this magazine is so beautiful. This whole magazine in general is beautiful. So definitely go check out This Witch magazine. You can get digital copies of it, or if you're lucky, you can snatch up physical copies. So I pre-ordered this, and then I think I pre-ordered the next one, the Poison Path one. But, like, look at her. She knows things. She knows secrets and spells and things. And I'm not usually like a big magazine person, but this is more like a book to me than a magazine. So yes. Anyways, okay. That is all of the reading materials that I have to talk to you about today. Expect more in the coming days because my birthday is coming up and I have birthday books. So, and as I step away from social media, I'm having way more time to read, which has been really awesome. So, yeah, I hope you're all doing well, and until next time, take care.